Time now for an in-depth look at the market news this afternoon, and for that I'm joined on the line by Mr. Daniel Yu, global strategist at Yuanta Securities. Mr. Yu, thank you as always for coming on.
Thank you for having me today.
Well, stocks in New York were up on a surge in the Chinese markets. The Nasdaq had another all-time high. What's the story in the global markets?
Yes, the Wall Street closed deeply in the green following the holidays as the tech stocks led the fresh records of Amazon and Netflix share nudged sentiment. If you look at the macro side, the ISM service index came out and it was surprisingly high, and it jumped to 57.1 in June, well above expectation of 50.1. As this results came out, the market continued to go up higher despite the concern of the COVID-19 cases. The 7-day moving average for daily COVID cases in the U.S. climbed to more than 48,000, and that is clearly negative news in terms of the sentiment. But despite that, because of these corporate news, it has affected the overall market to rise strongly. Berkshire Hathaway announced that the purchase of natural gas transmission and storage assets from the Dominion Energy for about $10 billion worth. This kind of put some positive sentiment towards the possible future economic recovery. Due to that, you saw Dow jumping 1.8%, S&P jumped 1.6%, and Nasdaq climbed 2.2% to show record of 10,434. And the U.S. futures markets are showing slight decline because of the concern about the COVID-19 spread continuing. But nevertheless, overall liquidity conditions seems to be quite reasonable. I think you're taking probably possible some breather that has affected such in terms of the European market, which is now trading at somewhere between 0.4 to 0.9% decline at the current point in time.
Well, Korean stocks started out strong today, but that fizzled out not long into the session. What happened in the KOSDAQ and the KOSPI?
Right, as you said, KOSPI closed down by 1.09%, and KOSDAQ is down slightly by 0.1%. At the beginning of the market, from 9 o'clock to 10:10, market showed quite strong upward movement. But ever since 10:10, it started to trade lower and clearly closed at negative territories. The reason for that is because individuals were buyer of the market by $856.4 billion, but continuously the foreign investors and institutions was net sellers. Foreigners were selling $385.6 billion, and the institutions sold $464.4 billion. This kind of move is kind of a bit perturbing because you had Samsung Electronics reporting 8.1 trillion won of operating profit, which is 22.7% year on year, and it is beating estimation of 6.5 trillion operating profits. I think that market seems kind of taking as a sell on the news kind of event. Foreigners were the major seller of Samsung Electronics as well. However, though, if you look at the overall condition of the market, domestic liquidity continues to be very strong. The money supply growth rates remaining quite strong as well. So hopefully the market could recover after the options closing day, which is Thursday. Overall, the overall conditions of the equity market seems to be saying that it needs to take some breather after a strong rally.
Well, Mr. Yu, we're almost out of time, but what do you say about the current account surplus Korea posted in the month of May?
Yes, current account surplus came in at quite lower and narrowed to 2.29 billion in May from 5.18 billion in the same month previous year. And that actually affected negatively in terms of the Korean won to US dollar rate, which it was as low as 11.92. Now it's back up to 11.96. Clearly, overall condition is negative in the sense that the export numbers needs to pick up. As you know, that the steel is down year on year. Hopefully by the second half of this year, the numbers should turn to positive if the global economy does recover as expected.
Got it. All right, Mr. Yu, thanks so much for sharing your insights today. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much.